Have you ever wondered why you're not really sick, you don't take any strange medications, and you live pretty much the same way you have for decades, yet your body feels heavier and heavier, sensations feel duller, and the confidence you once had as a man seems to be fading away without any clear explanation? Have you ever considered that a very private, very familiar habit might be quietly damaging your cardiovascular system, your prostate, and your nervous system day after day? And the scariest part is, almost no one ever warns you about it. My name is Dr. Emily Carter. I'm a urologist and andrologist specializing in men's health for older adults. Over more than 10 years of working with thousands of male patients over the age of 60, I've come to realize a truth that very few people dare to say out loud. The issue isn't whether you masturbate or not, it's how you're doing it. Many habits that seem harmless or are even considered normal are actually quietly disrupting circulation, throwing hormones out of balance, dulling sensation, and draining men's vitality without them ever realizing it. If you're watching this video and something I've just said feels uncomfortably familiar, stay with me. In today's video, I'm going to point out 7 common mistakes men over 60 often make, along with small adjustments that can lead to surprisingly big improvements in your health and confidence. And trust me, mistake number 6 is something almost every man is getting wrong. Before we continue, if you find this content helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our weekly health insights created specifically for older men. If you think this video is worth watching, leave a comment with the number 1 below. And if not, you can comment 0 instead. I genuinely want to hear your honest feedback. Now, let's begin with the first mistake, a habit that's quietly changing how your brain and body experience pleasure in ways you may have never considered. Many men over 60 have told me almost the exact same thing. Doctor, I'm doing what I've always done, but lately I can barely feel anything anymore. They assume it's just aging, that their body is getting older and they're simply not the same as they used to be. But the truth is, in most cases, their body isn't weakening nearly as fast as they think. The first thing to get exhausted and numb is actually the brain. When you're younger, your brain's pleasure system is very adaptable. But after 60, it can't handle intense, rapid, non-stop stimulation the way it once could. Relying entirely on pornography, especially content with constantly changing visuals, floods the brain with dopamine. At first, it still feels exciting, but over time, the brain is forced to protect itself by turning down its sensitivity. The result is that real sensation becomes muted, arousal takes longer to build, and pleasure starts to feel more mechanical. The dangerous part is that most men don't realize this is happening. They only notice that they need more stimulation to get the same feeling they used to have, and they mistakenly think that's the solution. But have you noticed this? The more stimulation you chase from the outside, the less you can actually feel your own body. And eventually, even if your body is still healthy, you start to feel empty after every release. In the middle of all this, I want you to ask yourself one question. If your brain is learning to shut off sensation just to survive overstimulation, what do you think will happen to your desire, your intimacy, and your ability to experience real joy over the next few years? The solution isn't prohibition or shame. Sometimes it's as simple as giving your brain a quiet break, so your body can relearn pleasure through sensation, breath, and presence. And when you can do that, you'll begin to notice something else that's incredibly important, that even the space you choose for this habit is quietly affecting your health more than you think. Many older men don't talk about it, but I know this very well. The bathroom is where they feel the safest. The door is closed, no one interrupts them, and there's no need to explain anything to anyone. And then, out of habit, they sit down, lean slightly forward, and try to get it over with as quickly as possible. It sounds harmless, but that exact posture, repeated year after year, is quietly damaging the most sensitive area of a man's body after 60. When you sit for long periods in a hunched position, especially on the toilet, the blood vessels and nerves in the pelvic region are compressed. At this age, circulation is no longer as flexible as it once was, so even a small obstruction can lead to significant consequences. The prostate doesn't receive adequate nourishment, blood flow to the penis weakens, and the nervous system remains under prolonged pressure. Many men begin to notice very familiar signs: incomplete urination, post-void dribbling, a heavy or uncomfortable feeling in the groin, but they never connect these symptoms to this habit. What troubles me the most is that no one tells them that this most private place is actually doing the most harm. And men, more often than not, choose to suffer in silence until the body starts pushing back more clearly. Simply changing your posture, allowing the pelvic area to relax and restore circulation, can help your body heal itself far more than you might imagine. But even when the space is right, there's still another habit that continues to exhaust your nervous system: the way you treat your time and the pace at which you move through it. "I just want to get it over with fast so it's not a hassle." That's a line I hear all the time from men over 60. Life already comes with enough pressure, and the body isn't as strong as it used to be. So they start treating pleasure like a task, something to handle quickly and move on. But the body doesn't interpret it the way you think it does. When you rush, your nervous system gets pushed into a stressed state instead of a relaxed one. Your heart beats faster, blood vessels tighten, and hormones are released out of their natural rhythm. You might still reach orgasm, but it isn't the kind of release that restores you. What often remains afterward is a sense of emptiness, fatigue, or even unexplained sadness. Over time, the brain learns to associate pleasure with tension. Sensation becomes shallow, your connection to your body fades, and desire gradually drops. Many men mistake this for, well, "I'm older now, that's just how it is," when in reality, they're training their body to work against its own natural needs. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, if every time you touch your body it comes with urgency and stress, how do you think your body will respond in the next few years? Slowing down isn't weakness. For older men, it's the only way the nervous system can enter a healing state. And for slowing down to truly mean something, you need to pay attention to one part of the body that most men were never taught how to feel, but it plays a major role in your control and your confidence. Very few men realize that there is a group of muscles deep inside the body that quietly supports their entire sexual health. This is the pelvic floor. You can't see it, and you may not clearly feel it, but when it weaks, everything above it begins to decline. I once treated a patient in his early 60s who exercised regularly and ate a healthy diet, yet he was gradually losing control and sensation. The cause wasn't cardiovascular health or hormones. It was a foundation that had been neglected for far too long. Years of prolonged sitting, chronic stress, and lack of connection to this area had weakened his pelvic floor without any obvious warning signs. When you masturbate in a tense state or bear down with force, these muscles are placed under even more strain. The result is poorer blood flow, reduced sensation, and subtle issues like post-urination leakage beginning to appear. This doesn't happen overnight. It builds up very slowly, making it hard for men to recognize the true cause. Simply becoming aware of this muscle group and gently activating it can help restore balance in your body. But even once that foundation is reawakened, there is still one very important factor that many men completely misunderstand: frequency. Some men worry that they're doing it too often. Others believe the less, the better. But the body doesn't operate at extremes. It operates on rhythm. When stimulation happens too frequently without listening to your body's signals, it can lead to temporary irritation in the prostate or turn pleasure into a numb habit for some men. On the other hand, when there's no stimulation for too long, blood flow may become insufficient and nerves can grow sluggish, potentially fading sensation. After 60, the body no longer adapts well to sudden changes. It needs consistency, intention, and attentiveness. Research suggests that a moderate rhythm, such as 4 to 7 times per week, may even reduce prostate cancer risk by up to 36% in some studies. There's no single number that works for everyone, but most men feel the most balanced when they maintain a rhythm that nourishes the body instead of draining it, always consulting a doctor if symptoms arise. Yet, even if you've found a rhythm that works for you, there's still one very common mistake that quietly destroys sensation faster than almost anything else. And the sad part is that most men do it because they believe it's the only way to get the feeling back. When sensation starts to fade, a man's natural reflex is to grip tighter, go harder, and move faster. But the body doesn't work according to that logic. The nerves in the penis are extremely sensitive and can become less responsive over time, especially with habits that involve excessive force. Using rough techniques over long periods can potentially cause irritation, reduce tissue elasticity, and contribute to changes that are difficult to reverse later on. I've met men who lost sensation not because of aging alone, but because of years of treating their bodies like tools that had to be forced to perform. The brain learns from this as well, linking pleasure to tension and control instead of relaxation and receptivity. Pause for a moment and think about this. If every attempt to rescue sensation with more force actually pushes your body farther away from real pleasure, where will that path lead you in the next few years? Gentleness is not weakness. For men over 60, it's the only way to protect the sensation that remains. And finally, there is one mistake that doesn't lie in the body at all, but much deeper, in your emotions and in your connection with yourself. This is the mistake that breaks my heart the most. Many men no longer masturbate for pleasure, but out of habit, out of loneliness, or to fill an inner void. There's no emotion, no presence, just a sequence of familiar motions. And afterward comes the emptiness. When pleasure is stripped of emotional connection, the brain may not fully release or benefit from the hormones that promote healing and bonding, leading to lower satisfaction as seen in studies on men's sexual health. You may still reach orgasm, but there is no true satisfaction. This is not a sign of aging. It's a sign of disconnection from your own body. Even when you're alone, touch can still be nourishing if you allow yourself to be present, to breathe slowly, and to truly feel. Your body doesn't need you to be perfect, it only needs you to listen. And when you begin to reconnect in this way, you'll realize something important. Age didn't take your vitality away. It simply asks you to care for your body in a new, deeper way. If you've stayed with me until this very moment, there's something deeply important I want to tell you, not as a doctor, but as someone who has spent many years listening quietly to older men. You are not broken. Your body has not betrayed you. It is simply changing the way it needs to be cared for. And the most dangerous thing isn't aging itself, it's continuing to live by old habits while your body has entered a completely different stage of life. The 7 mistakes we discussed today are not meant to scare you. They're meant to help you realize that with just small adjustments, how you touch your body, how you listen to it, how you allow yourself to slow down, things can begin to change. Sensation can return, confidence can be rebuilt, and reconnecting with yourself is never too late. If this video helped you see your body differently, please click like so the algorithm can help this message reach more men who may be suffering in silence just like you. You can also share this video with a friend or a loved one you care about. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because every week I share practical medical insights without shame, without judgment, to help you live stronger, clearer, and more connected at any age. Age does not take away the best years of your life. How you care for your body is what truly decides that.